So I kind of really wanted to talk about this comment that I got in one of my previous shorts, and specifically because it comes up a lot in conversation, whether you're talking to fans of the webtoon medium or people who work in the industry like myself. And that is that a lot of stories are becoming repetitive, and we're starting to see a massive, massive influx of titles in two specific genres. That would be the romance fantasy. In Korea, we call it roppan. In the US, I think they call it romantasy. And then the action fantasy genre, which is kind of like the game system type titles that you see, Solo Leveling, or a lot of the Red Ice titles that come out. And that's because they're the most popular titles. Right now, you can visit Webtoons, you can go to Tapas, you can go to any of the Webtoon platforms that actually show you view count. And if you look, the most popular titles for recent releases are all romance fantasy or action fantasy titles. And in Korea, that's actually becoming a massive issue because the only places that are capable of producing high level art for these action fantasies and these romance fantasy titles are studios. Independent creators can't really create titles that are on the same level of, I don't know, I'm the Queen in This Life, or Solo Leveling Ragnarok, or My Angelic Husband is Actually a Devil in Disguise. Yeah, indie creators aren't capable of producing those kind of titles on a weekly schedule, so they've basically been locked out of those two very, very important genres. People who work in the industry, like myself, like other people who work on the production side, like people who work on the distribution and the licensing side, we know there's a limit to this. But the audience for this keeps on growing, and the audience for webtoons keeps on demanding more of these titles. And the way that we see demand is we look at the view count, we look at the purchases, we look at the revenue, and we go, oh man, there's no ceiling on this yet. I can give you a specific example. A few years ago when I was head of US publishing, one of the things that we kept on hearing on social media and honestly through emails was we would like more GLs. And so we started publishing more GLs that translated really well. I thought the stories were wonderful, but the revenue from them never came close to hitting our top 10 or even top 50 titles. So we knew right off the bat that people might be asking for different genres, but the second we give it to them, those audiences aren't necessarily the ones that are paying for it. If you are someone who thinks, oh, hey, webtoons should have more genres, they should have more variety, you really need to vote with your attention, with your time, and with your money, because the more people buy these other niche or smaller genre titles, the more publishers will start to go, oh, hey, this is what people in other parts of the world like. We should put out more of these. But I'm kind of curious to know what everyone else thinks. That's just my thoughts. What do you think? Do you think maybe the industry needs a shakeup? Do you think there's going to be more titles coming in from overseas? Or do you think the Korean industry is starting to maybe dig its own grave by digging itself too far into specific genres, which is also a concern that a lot of people here have? Let me know what you think in the comments, and be sure to subscribe if you want to know more about the webtoon industry here in Korea. Follow me on LinkedIn or follow me on Substack, where I publish a lot of articles about what's going on in the Korean webtoon industry and how that's affecting everyone around the world.